All right, we've covered multiplying fractions now, so we're going to work on dividing fractions today. And dividing fractions is really fairly easy if you remember a couple of things. Here's a poem to help you. Dividing fractions, don't be shy, flip the second one over and multiply. So what we have to do here is we're going to take our set of fractions that we're multiplying. We're going to take the second fraction. So for example, if I had 1/2 times 1/4, I'm sorry, divided by. Ooh, what's 1/4 of 1/2 or 1/2 of 1/4? Okay, so 1/2 divided by 1/4, we're going to flip this second fraction over, and that's called taking the reciprocal of the fraction. So I would keep 1/2. I'm going to flip the second one over and make it 4/1. The reciprocal of 1/4 is 4/1, and then multiply instead of divide. Now when I do that, I get 4/2. Okay, and then I simplify that to 2. So 1/2 divided by 1/4. How many 1/4 pieces are there in 1/2? There are 2 1/4 pieces in 1/2. Okay, so we keep our first one, we flip the second one, and then we change to multiplication. First of all, let's just take a look at some reciprocals. On 5/6, the reciprocal of that is flip it over. Okay, on number 2, remember that a whole number as a fraction always gets put over 1, and then you will find its reciprocal by flipping it over. And for mixed numbers, you're going to have to change to improper fraction before you flip it over. Okay, so find the reciprocal of 1, 2, 3, and 4, please. Then let's look at finding the quotient, the division. So remember we're doing, and I call it KFC, keep, flip, and change. Okay, we're going to keep the first one, we'll flip the second one, we'll change to multiplication. KFC, keep, flip, change. Now it does not work if you flip the first one instead of the second one. You can't flip the first one over. That doesn't work. You have to flip the second one over. Okay, so let's just do an example of that. 1/2 divided by 1/4 again. Okay, we know that if we keep the first one, we flip the second one, and we multiply. 4/2 equals 2. If we flip the first one, that becomes 2/1, and we keep the second one, 1/4, and then we multiply, we get 2/4 or 1/2. We already started with 1/2, so that can't be the right answer. So you cannot flip the first one over and have it work. It just won't work. You have to flip the second fraction over and multiply. All right. So on number 7, we're going to keep -5/9. We're going to flip 2/3 to 3/2. You leave it improper. Don't change it to a mixed number. We can't multiply or divide with mixed numbers. They have to be either proper or improper fractions. And then we multiply, getting -15/18. And that simplifies to -5/6. Okay, that's for number 7, -5/6. I want you to go ahead and do number 8 on your own, and also number 9. Remember, your whole numbers get put over 1 to make a fraction. Also for number 10, you need to remember that if you have a mixed number, you've got to make it improper before you can divide or multiply. So 3 times -2 is -6. -6 plus 2. Actually, we're not going to make it negative right now. We're going to leave the negative off. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8/3. And then make it negative. Otherwise, if you multiply by -2, you're going to end up with less of a fraction than you should have had. You have to keep the value of the number. You can't subtract. So we're going to take the negative off, make an improper fraction, and then put the negative back on, dividing by 4/1 for this whole number. So basically I have -8/3 times 1/4 for my answer, and that's going to be a -8/4 over 12 and negative dividing by 4, 2 over 3, negative 2/3. Okay, so when you have a negative out here in front of the mixed number, it doesn't matter really where it goes, but normally you're going to kind of keep it with the numerator. Keep it with the numerator when you're doing your multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. Keep that negative sign up there. It doesn't matter if it's all the way out in front here or on the numerator. Either way is fine. Okay, I want you to finish these next two examples, and we're going to discuss this more in class.